Hey there, I'm Jill Allen, and this is Find Your Fierce, the show designed for women to discover your fierce, unlock an unstoppable mindset, build unbreakable courage, and completely transform how you show up every single day. Each week, I will bring ideas, methods, and strategies that will inspire you to step into your greatness and live life on purpose. Let's be fit, fierce, and unstoppable.
Hey there, gang. Welcome to Find Your Fierce. I am Jill Allen, and I am so excited that you're here with me as we dive into what's going to be a pretty good episode today. We're going to talk about anxiety, something we all too often wrestle with. And today I'm going to walk you through what I have found to overcome anxiety and how to manage it. But before we go any further, I have to ask, are you needing a speaker for an upcoming event or conference? If so, I am your person. I would love to bring the Find Your Fierce message to your next function. So to book your event, message me at jill@jillallencoaching.com. And I love that you are here listening in and spending time with us. So honored that I get to be a part of your day. You're just also amazing, and I thank you for your love and your support. As always, I appreciate your feedback, your reviews, and I love that you share this podcast and the Set Free message with your friends and family. So if you could keep on doing that, that would be incredible, because you are helping this movement as it helps reach more women and it impacts more lives. And that is certainly what life is all about. So thank you so much again. Are you ready? I know I am. So let's dive in. I just got back from playing 2 hours of pickleball with my son, Harrison. He has been playing for a couple months now at the local recplex, and he would come home and he was just always so excited and did a tournament and all this stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, I want to play. Like, I want to be a part of this. And so he said, well, you can come on Friday. It's from 11 to 1. And I'm like, okay, I'll be there. I had no pickleball racket or anything like that. He actually went out and bought me one. And so we showed up. Well, there was over 40 people. I think I counted like 42. 6 courts. Had no idea how intense this was, but how like so much fun. People of all ages. It was a good time. And so here we are. We're talking about anxiety today and how to calm it. And I should have just said, go play pickleball, because I think I smiled the entire time for the entire 2 hours that I was out there playing, and it was just such a good, fun connection. So if after today, after I share everything, after I spent all this time like mapping up a game plan for you, if that doesn't work, or if you don't like that, just go play pickleball and your anxiety might be less. So I had to share that before we start diving in. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit how we can alleviate your anxiety, how to calm it, that it does not have control over your life unless you give permission or if you allow it to do so. And so I'm going to kind of walk you through how to minimize the effects on you, how to talk back to your anxiety, what to do when you're feeling overwhelmed by anxiety, and how to turn that anxiety and all the issues that come with it into your greatest strength and gift, allowing you to show up with more peace when it comes knocking on your door. So heads up, I am not a counselor. I'm not a doctor by any means or a certified counselor. I'm just here sharing life with you. And so I do want to put that out there. This is what I have found that has worked for me. And so some would say that I am an anxious person. I would even agree with that at times. And some days, if I'm being completely transparent with you, I was suffocated by anxiety. But here's the thing. I was giving it permission to live in my life. I wasn't taking ownership. And although I felt like I was prone to anxiety, and I still do that, like I am so thankful for God doing his thing. I mean, he's helped me with, my anxiousness, and there's been a lot of healing in my life. Though part of my personality, I have to say, I am wired with those traits. I'm highly motivated, type A, driven to achieve, have this perfectionist tendency every once in a while. And I tend to maximize my capabilities on most days. And so the anxiety would creep in. And it doesn't mean that we will never live an anxiety-free life. That's not the case. But there is a root system, and it's usually going back to fear of something. Fear of what has happened, what will happen, what could happen. And there's fear around everything. Just if you turn on the news, or you see a news clip, everything is stemming from that fear that humans like to grip, okay, for whatever reason. And as a believer in Jesus, or maybe you don't have a relationship with him, either way, I know that we can all probably agree that we can choose to live a life of fear or to live a life of love. And, the word tells us in Isaiah, fear not, for I am with you. In 2 Timothy, it says, for God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. In Philippians 4, verse 6 through 7, it says, this is one of my favorite ones, and it is perfect for today. It says, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And here's the thing, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. I just love that. And when we're talking about anxiety, I have to say that it's like an expression of how I know I see the world sometimes, the lens we see through. By flipping the script, we have the power over our thoughts, the ability to look at our mind and what is going on up in there, and the power to look at anxiety through a lens of neutrality, or better yet, we have the power to see things the way God sees them through his lens. And I would look at anxiety through a jacked up lens most days, a lens where I would beat myself up, where I would pile on the pressure, through a lens of judgment, a lens where I didn't have enough faith, a lens of fear, a lens of what could go wrong, all which would accentuate my anxiety. And it is crippling. And I know some of you are hanging on to every word that I am speaking right now, because I am talking about you too. I'm talking straight to you. And it steals, and you get it, it steals everything from you. And we need to be able to flip that script. Anxiety is an invitation to healing. It's an invitation to be proactive of what you have the ability to control and how to manage it. Anxiety flat out steals from us. And so let's dive into that active anxiety management mode. I used to be, it sometimes happens now, but the majority of the time I used to be self-critical that I would have to actually manage this. But the growth, the transformation, the healing that has taken place, the life transformation and the deep relation with God, it's an extension of my peace and the confidence build, right? And so where you can believe in your potential and your God-given gifts and the courage to live all of that out. If you showed me a picture of me now, right, 10 years ago, I would say no way. So if we can approach today just like that, and we get serious and we commit to managing our thoughts and transforming our hearts, because what is in our mind and heart, the emotions follow. Thoughts create emotions. And I used to say that I am an anxious person, right? But that's not necessarily the case. I can be aware of my thoughts, to think about what I am thinking. I can talk back to my thoughts. I can be intentional with what I speak, as I have the authority to tell it to leave my brain. Change is available. We can get excited about managing our anxiety, the transformation that you are going to embark on that has more overflow and impact than just anxiety healing. It's so good. I want to share with you a few anxiety quotes I came across, and it just speaks volumes, and it goes perfectly with what we're talking about today. Dan Millman, he says, you don't have to control your thoughts. You just have to stop letting them control you. It's okay if an anxious thought comes in. Fear thoughts or negative thoughts. It's natural for those to be there, but we don't have to hop on the fear train. So the good news is that we don't have to control the thoughts coming in. We just got to stop letting them control us. Here's another one from Deepak Chopra. Every time you are tempted to react in the same old way, ask if you want to be a prisoner of the past or pioneer of the future. This one is so good. Do you want to be a prisoner or a pioneer of the future of hope, of healing? Walter Anderson, he said, nothing diminishes anxiety faster than action. Action will diminish anxiety. You become ready and capable by starting. How many of you are just dragging your feet, paralyzed and stuck with anxious thoughts? You don't have to be great to start, but you got to start to be great. And Wayne Dyer, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And that is exactly what we are doing with our anxiety today. We are not changing anxiety. So if you're wired this way, you don't have to change necessarily who you are. We just have to change the way we look at things. In case no one has told you recently, words matter. And often the people around us are distracted and busy, and they forget to slow down and build us up with words of encouragement and love. And that's what we're doing here today on Find Your Fierce. That's why you can count on me. I'm showing up each week, speaking some life into you. And in case no one has told you recently, here are a few things I want you to know today. You are more beautiful than you think. You have something no one else in the world has, so the world needs you. You are doing better than you think you are. You are on your way. You matter, and you were made to do great things. So know that I am cheering you on today, bringing some fire into your life, into your day. And I'm excited to continue talking about how we can calm your anxiety. We need to believe that anxiety doesn't have authority in your life anymore. We don't have to believe that I'm always this way, or I have this going on or that going on, blaming it on circumstances. So when we do that, of course, anxiety is dictating life. And all the excuses and all the things that are happening to you and I we have to start standing up for ourselves. We can't give away our power and authority to anxiety. And just so you know, I wake up every day. I wake up every day with anxiety, but I don't allow it to control me. We can choose to think different, but what is it going to take to have a healthy relationship with anxiety? You have to be compelled, willing to believe that the work that you do on this matters, that every little thing matters, and the effort will change things. And so what does anxiety take from you? We can't operate in faith if we're always operating in fear. It takes away our sleep. It takes away our confidence. It steals our joy. It takes away the ability to be ourselves, the belief in ourselves. It takes away our fullest potential, and it takes away our faith. So I want you guys to have a conversation with it. Uninvite it. Declare its authority that is voided. I want you to increase your awareness of anxiety and your role in it. When does it happen? What are your thoughts? Take emotional ownership and the personal responsibility. I used to say, I can't help it. I'm just anxious. I don't know why I'm anxious. We always know deep down, but we need to slow down and be curious and be patient with ourselves to really know why. Slow down to speed up. So we need to stop describing ourselves as that anxious person. The way you speak about yourself matters. And we need to actively manage our anxiety daily. It's a daily thing. And we need to know what works best for you. This is my setup, the way I manage my anxiety. This is what I do to start my day because I wake up with it every day. Morning journaling. I write, whether it's in prayer or the devotions or podcasts, but mostly it's informal, just jotting things down, what's in my heart. And the funny thing is, clarity and some peace shows up when I do so. I also go the word before the world. If we pick up phone, think about this. And I know I was guilty of it big time. If we pick up our phone the moment we wake up and the first thing we see is drama on social media or all the sad things in the news clips, it sets the tone of the day. How do you want to set the tone for your day every day? Do you want to pick up that phone and see all that or do you want to start it with some truth? And so I try to start my day with some solid truth in the word. Of course, combined with prayer, giving praise, lifting others up. I can't say that I don't do affirmations. Is it really formal? Do I jot that stuff down? Not necessarily, but I do focus on the things that I speak to myself. If we remember that our thoughts create our emotions, I certainly don't want to create or speak out any negative thoughts. So I speak positive vibes to myself. It's that self-talk that we do throughout the entire day. I also exercise. I got to do it. I got to move. There is nothing better than that feeling after a good fit and fierce workout or a run or a weight session or a hike on the trails, whatever it may be. I move. I throw on worship music and it's playing all day long in the house. It's in the cars. The iTunes playlists. It's always on. The girls are always sharing their latest finds and what they love. And so we put that on and let it blast through the house. What about fresh air? I got to have that too. I mean, for me, working from home, getting out is critical. Getting fresh air is a must. And so it's a game changer for me throughout my days. I also, for my setup, I practice gratitude. I mean, it's intentional. It has to be intentional, or we just go back to default mode, and gratitude isn't necessarily the human default. I mean, so I have to choose what to focus on by choosing the good. And then, of course, like, I try to flip the script or reframe, and getting that fresh perspective or that new perspective, or standing on the truth, his truth. Boundaries. What about boundaries? We got to throw those in there. And, boundaries on the screens and the computers and the phones and the technology. I mean, I hang out on social media because of you guys and my family, but I try to limit it. I want to live a life that has crazy impact and adventure, and I can't do that if I allow my anxiety to control me and with my head in a phone. It's impossible. And then, of course, I want to throw in self-encouragement. Be proud of you. There are times where I pat myself on the back. I self-encourage. I don't rely on validation from others. I try to show up for the audience of one. But there are times where you have to be proud of yourself, that you're doing it, that you're doing a good thing and doing a good job and showing up, loving on people and living out your purpose. So practice that self-encouragement. I want to walk you through 4 steps to help you alleviate your anxiety. Number 1, write it out. Anxious thoughts can compound and cloud out every other emotion, leading to overwhelm and panic attacks. And so what does it lead to for you? Overeating? Drinking a bottle of wine? Are you angry? Are you irritable, paralyzed by fear, stuck? Write down exactly what your anxious thoughts are when you first feel it. And you'll be better at managing it and keeping it from becoming bigger than it needs to be. And if you don't have a journal, you don't like it, or you're not in a place where you just whip out that pen and paper, guys, voice memo yourself. Text yourself, jot it down in your notes, because once you get it out and see it, we become super, super aware. Okay, so write it out. 2, talk back to it. Just because you have a thought doesn't mean it's true, or that it needs to stay in the forefront of your thoughts. It doesn't need to stay there. Once you've written down your thought, talk back to it. And this is the most important part, in a way where a friend would if you were having this conversation. Think back to when your kids are 7. I mean, or I even think of my girls, 12 and 15. And imagine if they came to me or with an anxious thought. What would I say to them? What would you say to someone that is so sweet and so innocent, and they're like anxious, overwhelmed? How would you speak to them? That's how you need to be speaking to yourself. It's going to increase your level of compassion. So let's flip it and say those things to you. 3, choose a new focus. You are the boss of your brain. You can tell your brain what you want to focus on, right? And an anxious thought or a positive possibility. I mean, it's your choice when it comes down to it. Whatever you task your brain to look for and focus on, it will do. That's how good it is. So as you practice this skill, your brain is going to naturally go back to the original anxious thought. And when it does, simply redirect it back to the new focus. It's okay if it goes back to default, human nature, but just remember, you are the boss of your brain and you can tell it what to focus on. And then 4, encourage yourself. Every time, and I had to hit this point home again because I do this daily. So number 4, you need to encourage yourself. Every time that you reframe, redirect, or refocus your thoughts is a reason to celebrate. It's a win. It's a sign that you are becoming more intentional with your thoughts. So I want you to be proud of your progress and encourage yourself, reminding yourself that the mental effort it takes to reduce your anxious thoughts is and will always be worth it. And so let's repeat that. The mental effort it takes to reduce your anxious thoughts is and will always be worth it. I'm going to end that there, but I want you to go back a few other episodes that you would enjoy. If you enjoyed today's episode, go back to August 18th, 2022. The episode is Change Your Thoughts to Change Your Life. That's a good one. And a few episodes before that, on June 30th of 2022, 10 ways to take control of your life. You may enjoy those if you enjoyed today's topic. And if you're wanting more fire in your day, there's so much for you to do so. You can follow me on Instagram. Keep up to date with all that is going on. My new book is set to release in March, so stay connected. In the meantime, snag a copy of my book set free on Amazon. Join us in Fit and Fierce, upcoming retreats, or join our Hawaii mission trip team this June. And if you're wanting to do your own road trip, you can hop in our Sprinter van that sleeps up to 5 and hit the open road. Be sure to go to Jill Allen Coaching for all updates. And join the Just Breathe Facebook group. We would love to connect with you, as positive connection is so game-changing. Come back next week as we will attack another hot topic, one that you will love, to help you and encourage you to the next level. Thanks so much for joining me today. I pray that I filled your heart with joy. And if you could let me know before hopping off here, that would be incredible. Subscribe, share this episode link on your social media if you felt encouraged or inspired, as we all know someone that can benefit. And I would love it if you would give some feedback and a review as well. Talk with you next time. Be fit, be fierce, be unstoppable. See ya.